Hey guys, thanks for watching Homesteading on the Side. Today we're going to make some Oriental pepper steak with rice. So for this recipe we're going to need a big pot to cook it in, an extra bowl for you to make your sauce, beef broth. I don't have any beef broth on hand, so I just use the bouillon and just mix it up, and you're going to need a cup of it. So I will use 1 cup of water and 1 of these bouillon cubes. Vegetable oil, and I use vegetable oil in this rather than olive oil because vegetable oil will lend no flavor, and because it's kind of an Oriental recipe, I don't want to use the olive oil. You'll need oyster sauce, which can be found I go to Walmart and get it in the Asian food section. Cornstarch, rice. I have a rice cooker that I put it in, and it's 3 cups worth. So go ahead and get your rice going, otherwise you'll be like me and totally forget to do the rice until after dinner's ready. So do your rice first. Sugar, 2 bell peppers. The color is up to you. We prefer the colored bell peppers just because they're sweeter and they taste better. An onion, a good bit of garlic, some mushrooms, which these are the baby bellas. And I like to add mushrooms to a lot of things because it helps stretch it without having to pay to buy more meat, because a container of mushrooms is a lot cheaper than an extra pound of meat. And then I've got here, this is just boneless, a boneless roast that has been sliced thin, and I'm going to slice it into little strips. So let me get this started. Alright, everything's ready to go. I've got my meat cut into strips. You can see it's just cut it along slivers, and I've got everything else cut into strips and slivers. And this is my pot's been heating up with oil, and I'm just going to add all of my vegetables in, so I want them to soften some before I cook the meat, before I add the meat in. And you can use whatever vegetables that you like. You don't have to use bell peppers or mushrooms or even onion. You can use, like I said, whatever vegetables or combinations of colors, whatever you like, whatever you prefer. And if you don't want to use beef and make it pepper steak, you can use chicken or pork too. So that's going. I'm going to go ahead and salt my vegetables. Salt helps break them down just a little bit. And now I'm going to make my sauce. I'm going to double the sauce. So it starts with 2 cups of beef broth. That's it. I use bouillon in water. You can use stock if you have it in a box or a can, or if you have it home canned, whatever you have. And I need 3 teaspoons I'm doubling it, so let's do 5 teaspoons, because I forgot I'm doubling it. That should be enough. And then whisk it together, get any lumps out, that way you don't start adding stuff on top and keep those clumps in. So then we're going to need all the garlic that we chopped. And I just minced it up super fine. Throw it in. We need a 1/2 cup of the oyster sauce, and it's thick, and this is kind of salty, and it's a little sweet at the same time, so you're not going to need to add any salt or anything to the sauce. So there's a 1/4 cup. We'll add 1 more if I can get it all. Get it all in. Alright, so there's my 1/2 cup of oyster sauce. And then 4 tablespoons of sugar. I said if you don't want it super sweet, don't add it, but we like ours sweet. 3, And that's it for the sauce. Just make sure you whisk it together. That garlic piece is falling. Whisk it together and just take a little spoon and taste it. If you want it a little sweeter, add some more sugar. If you want it a little more salty, just add a little more oyster sauce. Like I said, and that should be plenty of cornstarch. So the vegetables are going to cook down some, and when they get soft to the texture that I like them, you can cook them as much or as little as you want. Then I'm going to take them out and add the beef, and when the beef is just about done, add the vegetables back on top. So they're softened, and they're not like super soft where they're wilted, but they're not raw either. They have a little bit of crunch to them. So I'm going to go ahead and take all of these out, and I'm going to add my meat in. Alright, meat's done, and you want to cook it just till you don't see any more pink. You don't want to let it cook for a while, otherwise it's going to get tough. So the meat's done. I got my vegetables and my sauce lined up. So now that the meat's done, add all the vegetables back in and their juice. Get everything all mixed in. And then I just make a well in the center. Turn my pan up to medium. And then add my sauce, the juice, right into the middle. And as it cooks and comes back to temperature, it will get thicker and thicker. So my rice is done. And a tip for the rice, rice is covered in starch, and if you will rinse it before you cook it, a lot of the starches will get rinsed off, so that way it won't be gummy or sticky. It'll be nice and fluffy. It's already starting to get thick. So like I said, I just cook it until it's the thickness that I like, and then serve it up over rice. So that's it done. See how nice and thick it is? It's gonna be delicious. Make sure you always taste it. If you want it a little more salty, add a little more oyster sauce. If you want it sweeter, go ahead and add some more sugar. Or like I said, we like it all over our rice, and you can see that it is fairly thick. If you want it thicker, just make a little cornstarch slurry, just 1/4 cup of water and tablespoon of cornstarch and throw it in. But here's from my posse and my family, and it will be plenty to serve all of us. Hope you enjoy.